We got some spicy patch notes for you straight from the pre-patch podcast. Enjoy.
UK regulators have blocked Microsoft's 64 or 69 billion deal with Activision again. I wanted to talk about this last week. Holy shit, dude.
Going through
literally the day, if I remember correctly, it was the day that they felt, or they, what was it? It was initially voicing caution. No. I can't remember what I was right here. British regulators seem to be inclined towards the deal's approval before Wednesday's surprising announcement. Literally, they were about to announce that day. I'm pretty sure that Wednesday that it was a done deal essentially. Yeah. And they came out and were like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And it's not. It has nothing to do with the Sony thing either. That's the weirdest part.
Sony lost.
Sony lost 100%.
Big L.
Yeah. Sony's done.
What does it have to do with cloud, right?
It's cloud, yeah, 100%. Go ahead, Bill. I think that you brought this up the other week as well about
Google. So so they made the deal with the two biggest proponents against the Activision deal on the cloud gaming front was Nvidia and Google. Nvidia got their deal. They got the same deal everybody else got, 10 years of Call of Duty and Activision Blizzard titles going to Nvidia's cloud streaming platform. That was fine. I think Google did some underhanded something.
Oh, 100%.
It's the only thing that makes sense with this being like such a 180 as what it was. Because like you said, it was a done deal up until it wasn't.
I mean, they even had ads running in London for their Call of Duty, for their Microsoft or what was it, Activision Blizzard acquisition, dude. They had ads running. Well,
the biggest the one thing that I wonder about is like, is this like a grudge thing for Google Stadia? Do you think?
Could be. I don't know.
Maybe, man. I mean, the hardware is dead, but Stadia is still something that they're developing in the background. So maybe they've got something coming out here soon that we don't know about.
That's legitimately the only thing that I can think of is that, like, I don't even think that they have anything in the works, right? Like, I don't think that they're miraculously, I can't fucking speak, miraculously going to come out tomorrow and be like, hey, Stadia's back, guys, just so you're aware, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm curious if this is a grudge thing and they blame Microsoft and Activision for the failure of Stadia.
Now, is this all
not really Activision, just Microsoft? I'm sorry, because my Activision has nothing to do with the fucking cloud, but I'm curious if they blame Microsoft for the failure of Stadia.
Is this all speculation that like Google might have a hand in this, or is this like just rumors? Or
it's speculation, but they did announce that it was cloud gaming that was the reason for UK regulators blocking it. So
like what?
Put two and two together, you get four.
Yep.
Yeah, the only people that have their hands in cloud gaming is Nvidia and Google, and maybe
Google.
There's one other, but I can't remember.
Now here's the spicy. Sony not too long ago did announce that they are coming back into the handheld market with a cloud gaming handheld. We've talked about that on the podcast already.
That's true.
There's still a potential world out there where Sony was able to slice this on the cloud gaming aspect. I don't think that's the case.
That was one of the things with me as well. Was I'm almost curious if it was something to do like an underhand, but like a deal that Sony did. But I don't really see Sony having the money to grease those wheels, man.
Sony just slips a 20 across the table.
I don't see them. I don't see them having them. But
does this
I look at it as this as well. Like Sony was able to keep that fight going with the CMA and the FTC, I think, or what was it in America? So no, it's not the FDA. I think it's the FTC.
FTC, I believe.
I think they were able to keep that entire fight going for months, and the only reason that I can think of is, again, some form of like underhandedness going on.
And I think the only reason that ultimately dropped too was because didn't they start an investigation in Sony and their exclusivity?
They started asking
100%.
questions. Yeah, they started asking questions about the exclusivity. And Sony's
like, all right, never mind, we're good.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, they started asking questions about like their exclusivity, their then paying for exclusivity and like deals and stuff like that. And then
I still want to see that.
I want to see it,
but I want to
I want to see that paperwork for the when Xbox came out and basically said that they paid. I can't remember what gaming company it was, but they paid to have exclusive, like to pull it from Microsoft.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember which company it was.
Specifically off of Game Pass.
Yep, that's crazy.
It was Square.
Was it Square?
It was Square. Yeah, that was at least the most recent one was Square, which we know that Square's in Sony's back pocket. Sony basically owns Square without actually owning Square.
Yeah. So Sin says that he thinks that Google's going to pull because they're pulling this because they're trying to keep Stadia alive. I agree with that. It's dead. It's not dying. Stadia is dead. It's been dead for a long time. I don't think that they're bringing it back. And he says that to trust that it's going to go through. I don't know, man.
I'm not so sure, man. Phil Spencer seems to be giving up hope. In that interview, he said that they are now actively looking at moving Microsoft's business model forward without like Activision. Like they've got two separate models going.
I'm just curious.
Without Activision completely.
I'm just curious if they do that, right? And Activision goes back. Like the smart move, if you're Activision, to me would just be okay. If we can't be purchased completely outright by Microsoft, we're just going to start basically cannibalizing our company and selling it to Microsoft one piece at a time.
Right.
Or they could do what Square's doing with Sony and make it, okay, you're not going to own us, but we're going to do nothing but exclusivity deals with you.
Yeah.
Right. Which that would be the worst case for Sony at that point.
I don't know. I think
they started doing that.
I think that there's still fight in it. I think Microsoft is still wanting to push forward with it. Like Sin said,
they're putting stupid not to.
They're putting legalization in it. Yeah,
but
I don't think that like they're too far in. Right, like they've been fighting this for a year now almost. I think they're too far in.
This is going to be a long battle.
It's going to be a long battle. Yeah.
This just elongated it by probably another 2 years, if not more.
If not more, honesty, 100%. Yeah, if not more. But yeah, so
because they're gonna have to wait until cloud gaming develops.
So that
cloud
means
gaming is the big concern. They need to see the emerging tech, and that's going to take a while to develop.
That means everybody listening to this podcast has 2 more years of content.
Keep coming back
right here.
2 more. We're your number one stop for Microsoft Activision news, baby.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the surprisingly that's the end of our Microsoft talk. This has been my TED Talk. This has been my TED Talk. Thank you for speaking though of long fights, long legal fights. Epic's antitrust case against Apple is dead in the water.
I hope you enjoyed this small selection from the Pre-Patch podcast. And if you want to catch us live, we do this every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, both on YouTube and Twitch. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We are also available to listen to at anchor.fm/Pre-Patch podcast or wherever podcasts are listened to. Much love.